why Jewish reggae singer Matisyahu was at Weber State University today.
Plus how the football team plans to continue its winning streak.
And why people are boycotting a particular Ben & Jerry's ice cream flavor. Welcome. Welcome to Weber State News. I'm Janna.
And I'm Derek.
Jewish reggae artist Matisyahu performed here at Weber State University. The line stretched from the ballroom in the Student Union building all the way to the library. Before the concert, students had the opportunity to meet Matisyahu. At 17, Matisyahu began with open mic nights, eventually going to college and performing many times at different places. In the end, his skills finally paid off. After the meet and greet, Matisyahu performed on stage in the Shepherd Union building.
Waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say one day, one day, oh, one day, one day, one day. Days we will return with no delay, and I'm picking up the bounty and the spurs on our way. We've been traveling from state to state, them don't understand now what they say.
Matisyahu involved the audience, even allowing one student to play guitar for one of the songs. Matisyahu's performance turned out to be a hit here at Weber State University. Let's head over to Kiersten for our National News Minute.
Welcome to the National News Minute. I'm Kiersten Voorhees. Are you Wildcats lacking cash, broke, or downright poor? Well, so are young adults all across the country. The 2010 census data released that the country has a huge job problem, and the young people are the biggest losers, with the unemployment rate for adults 18 to 34 the lowest since World War II. And the unemployment rate isn't the only thing that's dropping. Stocks plunged yesterday. Indicators across the financial markets have made investors concerned that there's no clear way that the U.S. will avoid another recession. Some experts say that the only way to get us out is if consumers and businesses spend more. But there's no sign of that change coming anytime soon. But a lot of changes are happening with your favorite social networking site. Facebook has made multiple changes this last week with larger photo displays, a feature that makes it easier to group friends, top stories, and even a ticker that basically lets you Facebook while you Facebook. Mostly negative things have been said about the changes, but some comment that people will eventually get used to it. Something that people might never get used to is Ben & Jerry's newest limited batch of ice cream. The flavor, Sweaty Balls, was inspired by a Saturday Night Live skit. Even though it's not exactly what moms want their kids asking for at the grocery store, Ben & Jerry's spokesman says that it's a great flavor and it's flying off the shelves. That's your National News Minute. Back to you, Derek and Janna.
Do You Bleed Purple? Assistant Marketing Director Dahlen Langston is here to tell us how to be more involved as a Wildcat.
Dahlen, thanks for joining us today. So, as the marketing director at Weber State, what are some of the main things that you focus on?
And working with the marketing director, we focus on engaging the Weber State University Student Association and various clubs and organizations on campus and accomplishing their marketing needs, including strategies, advertisements, and I think we focus on is engaging students and getting them involved on their campus and taking pride in Weber State University.
So what exactly is the Weber Warehouse and why is it so important?
The Weber Warehouse is an event we came up with last year. Every Friday from 9:30 to noon, we, in conjunction working with Weber Wear Fridays, is if you wear your Weber State gear, wear purple showing pride in Weber State University, you come up, spin the wheel, win a prize, and it just helps getting students involved and have fun.
So how do you really get students involved and willing and wanting to participate and have that school pride?
Just advertising for events, engaging them, putting on events that they will like to enjoy, and getting involved in a club or org, and attending sporting events. Even like tonight, we have an activity going on for the Union Building Bash with the Union Building birthday. From tonight to 8:12, they come and listen to music, hang out with friends, and then we even have concerts coming up with Far East Movement.
Very cool. Well, thanks for joining us, Dahlen. We appreciate your work here, and we know that you have a lot to do. Also, a lot of things have to be done around Weber State for the upcoming football games as well as for the upcoming weather, but it should be pretty nice. Let's go over to Morgan to get our weekly weather update.
Yeah, hey Derek, it is beautiful outside right now, as you can see from the shot here of the bell tower on Weber State campus. The whole weekend is basically going to look the same. Here's another shot from the bell tower plaza. You can see students there. Here's a look at the national map. There are basically no storms in the western region, as you can see. There's a little bit up in Canada, but this is a pretty clear map of what's happening here. There's some stuff over on the coast there in California, but other than that, there's nothing affecting Utah. Temperatures today are going to be in the 80s. You got 80s all across the Wasatch Front, 90s down south if you're headed down to St. George or that area. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast, pretty much you can see that it's going to stay the same through the weekend, and then Monday will drop down into the 70s, but it looks like we're headed back up into the 80s shortly after there. Back to you, Derek and Janna.
A different way to get involved in volunteering is students can find out ways that they can help others on Wednesday during the volunteer fair in the Shepherd Union Building. Weber State's News' Morgan Wilkins shows us some of the opportunities available.
The Community Involvement Center held its biannual volunteer fair on Wednesday. The fair featured nonprofit and government agencies from the community that are in constant need of volunteers.
We have 32 organizations here today.
Those organizations included Catholic Community Services, the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, the Ogden Nature Center, and Habitat for Humanity, among others. While all of these organizations have different goals and objectives, they all have one common need: volunteers.
Finally, is for the community partners to be able to recruit volunteers for their individual organizations.
Like Creatures of the Night that we need 40 volunteers a night to help us out with.
The volunteer fair not only helps each organization find those volunteers, but it also helps them showcase the different ways people can volunteer. Habitat for Humanity is a perfect example of this, as they need many volunteers for a variety of tasks, not just for building houses.
It takes quite a lot to be able to build a home for low-income families.
For organizations, the volunteer fair has been a great success in the past.
In many cases, we've had more Weber State students that are willing to volunteer with us than we can actually handle. So if you look through these notebooks here, if you recognized them, there's quite a number of Weber State students that are pictured in here.
For students, it is a great chance to find new places to get involved and volunteer.
The humanity, I like the cystic fibrosis table, Red Cross.
For Weber State News, I'm Morgan Wilkins.
Volunteer opportunities are always available through the Community Center Involvement Center.
The Weber State football team heads over to the border to take on the Northern Colorado Bears as they look to lengthen the win column in Greenlee, Colorado. The Wildcats are coming off an impressive 49-17 win over conference foe Sacramento State this past Saturday at Stewart Stadium. The struggling Bears are now 1-3 and look to also gain a victory, especially on their homecoming weekend. Kickoff begins at 1:35 p.m. Mountain Time at Nottingham Field, or tune in live on the Altitude channel to catch all Saturday's action.
This month is National Preparedness Month. Are you prepared for a natural disaster? Brandon Lamb went out and talked to students about what they would suggest if they were in a natural disaster. Here's what he found.
I would like to think that I'm prepared for a natural disaster because I have food storage and an assortment of weapons.
Well, I think I am pretty much. It's just a matter of knowing some first aid.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Mentally, yes. Physically, not really.
No, I don't think I am.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Oh, what I want to have? Yeah. A gun, so I could hunt, drive off looters, then take this stuff that they looted. Yeah.
Water. Water.
I'd like to have a knife. A sharp blade, it always comes in handy.
I would suggest having lots and lots of water. That's the first thing that runs out, I think.
I'd say water and food, maybe.
I have a closet full of guns just in case the zombie apocalypse comes.
A plan if there were a natural disaster.
So from what we've gathered, it sounds like some people are prepared in some way or another, and some aren't prepared at all. Whether you are or you're not, start thinking about it. I'm Brandon Lamb for Weber State News.
Sounds like some students really don't think about being prepared. Are you prepared?
Honestly, no. I think I have some water bottles in my basement and a little bit of food, but not enough to really do any good. What about you?
I have some. My mom gives me stuff for Christmas, so it's making my food storage.
You gotta love those Christmas gifts. Well, thanks for watching Weber State News. Don't forget you can catch all our newscasts, sportscasts, and Studio 76 on our website, weberstatenews.org. We'll see you next time. Until then, I'm Derek Skoughton.
And I'm Janna. Have a great weekend, Wildcats.